Hi, I'm Dr. Mark, and I'm going to help you sing and perform more like the top artists around the world. I'm a professional voice teacher, performance coach, and opera stage director. I've helped thousands of singers around the world learn the techniques and methods that got the top singers to where they are. Let's talk about these singers in this compilation video that were so amazing that someone included them in this video titled Amazing Singers Caught on Camera. I've never watched this video, and so this is my first time. I'm excited to see what makes these people so awesome, that someone thought that they were so amazing. Here we go. Wow, that was gorgeous. So it was amazing. Wow. Really kind of shocking and surprising, and not what I expected to hear, but a pleasant surprise. That's a gorgeous sound. What is it that makes it so amazing? Well, there's a few things. Number one, I work with the performers all the time. When I talk to them and ask them, what is it about your best performances that made them work for you? Can you see a pattern? What is it that you can use that links those together? One of the most common responses I get are, I actually do my best work when I'm just too tired to care. Or just emotionally, I'm in a place where I don't care what other people think. I don't care what they want to hear. I don't care what I think. I'm just getting out of my head, and I'm just focusing on making sound and expressing the emotion, and I'm just 100% in that moment. This moment, he doesn't realize that someone's videoing him. He's just doing his thing. You see, he's relaxed there. You'll see that his body's engaging, but it's not getting rigid. It's not getting tight and tense, and it's staying flexible and loose, and he's keeping it moving. That's also part of what's helping this singer make these amazing sounds that they're making. The other thing here is it sounds a bit childish, I get it, but it's really helpful, I think, to think about using what I like to call our playground voice. It's that voice from when we're kids. We go out in the playground and all of a sudden we're just talking really loud, and we can talk to someone across the playground, and we're just kids having a good time using our outside voice, right? That's the voice we're using here. The problem is, as we grow up, we're told all the time to be quiet. You're talking really loud. You're blah, 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 right? And it's shut down. We learn to speak lower, to kind of mumble and talk softer, because our world is one where people are often in enclosed spaces, oversaturated with sensory input, and we just get a better response if we're a little bit quieter. That's a problem, because when we go to perform, we forget what needs to happen to make these nice, full, big, easy sounds. We forget how to just make efficient noise, and so we have to rediscover that when we get on stage. So what I'm hearing here is I'm hearing that this person is connecting to emotion using their outside playground voice. The other thing you'll notice as they're going up there, especially before they kind of flip into that higher, softer, more aspirate sound, is that they're maintaining this feeling of slide, of stretch in between notes. They're not thinking of individual notes as points to kind of hit and articulate, but as plateau points that then they hit again. But in between them, it's going to feel like you're sliding or stretching in between notes, rather than stopping and starting on notes if we're doing it right. That's allowing them to keep this sense of legato line, this connection, this kind of whine, moan, sigh thing that we hear on all great singers out there. So, is it a problem that when they go to the top, they're kind of flipping this aspirate space and that it kind of gets breathy? No. Why? A, because I think it fits the style. B, because they're not just letting it pull back and get heavy or tight. They're keeping that placement forward and they're keeping the breath flow consistent. They're also not doing it in the middle of a phrase per se. They're really making it clear that it is a choice. And because they're so consistent when they're doing it, it also makes it seem like a choice and not just a mistake or an inadequacy in technique. So all those things together really make it really exciting. And also when they go from that more full body sound to that breathier voice, when it sounds like a choice, gives us some variety and contrast that kind of tug at our heart, right? I mean, it's really gorgeous.
You play and please the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Okay, get another gorgeous voice. Oh, person wasn't lying. These are really amazing singers that we're seeing here on camera. Again, similar things to ones before. Maybe part of the success is that they aren't aware that they're on camera, being caught on camera. Don't know. A few key things that we can take away from watching this performer is you'll notice here in their neck that there isn't any strain or tension as they're going up. They're not putting push into it. 2, they're keeping the placement consistent. It's nice and buzzy and forward, but they're keeping the oral pharynx open. And kind of, if I had to guess, it's probably somewhere between 60 and 80% of a yawn, but it's shaped in the smiling ass space and back. We see the upper teeth come out in that smile at moments where it's just keeping this app place there. So it's nice and easy. The breath flow is also really consistent. He's not punching at it. He's keeping that legato line. And it's just really, really easy, right? It's just gorgeous. You'll also notice the vibrato is really consistent all the way through it. It's this nice shimmery fast vibrato. Love it. He's relaxed. He's moving with it, right? He's not doing anything big. There isn't any of this tension that is restricting movement or is trapping things or is keeping things from being able to be flexible and malleable. It's in this active, engaged state, but it's also limber and flexible and able to move. Just like a tennis player before their match, right? Before that ball comes, they're kind of bouncing on both feet. They're engaged, they're active, but they're not tense or stiff. That's what we're looking for.
Love in mysterious ways, and maybe it's all part of a plan. Just keep on making mistake, and that you'll understand. So baby now, take me into your loving arms. Kiss me under the light with thousand stars. Place your head on my beating heart. Can I love? We don't love right where we are. Yay!
First of all, it's just adorable. Second of all, gorgeous singing. What makes it so nice? Same thing as these other voices that we're hearing, is they're just engaging this outside voice kind of place a little bit, especially the older boy there playing the guitar. He's keeping that airflow consistent. He's keeping that placement consistent. And you'll notice he's just smiling and relaxed and comfortable making this noise, right? He's not trying to push at it. He's not trying to force at it. He's just letting himself be a kid in this moment, singing really, really well. Also, performance-wise, it's really engaging to watch because they're just relaxed in their element doing their thing. That's exciting enough. And it is really, really adorable. It is so cute and so well done. Love it. I'm going to take a moment here too in this to put a word out there for anyone who works with children or is around children who are singing. My little soapbox moment is this. Never tell a child that they can't sing, or to stop singing, or that they don't sing very good, or they don't have very good pitch, or they can't sing on pitch, or they can't blah, blah, blah. They'll never have a career and blah, blah, blah. Just don't. Don't do it. There's no way to know. I've had people walk into my studio wanting lessons who my first reaction was, oh, yikes, this is going to be rough. But they worked hard and they're consistent with taking lessons, and they ended up being extremely successful and developing into a musician that had excellent pitch. When they walked in the door, I would play a pitch and they wouldn't be matching it. They'd be all over the place. With consistent effort and work, you can learn to sing. Children can learn to sing if they are nurtured and given the freedom to express themselves that way. I've worked with young singers to college-age singers and older who didn't think much of their own singing, but when they were given freedom to just do their thing, it was mind-blowing. It was better than most professionals I hear. Just like some of this that we're listening to right now, I would think, wow, that's as good as some of the professionals we're hearing. Encourage these young people around you to sing. Why? Well, they might not necessarily have a career out of it. Even if they're super talented, it just might not be the right path for them. But singing is something we do in cultures around the world throughout our lives, from young to old. So the faster they can learn to enjoy it, have it be a positive experience, something that releases tension, that engages their mind and their body. It's a super healthy activity. Just let them be a little bit. And don't get on their back and start judging their singing. Encourage what they're doing well so that they want to keep going and exploring and learning. And then give suggestions of what might make it better instead of focusing on what's not going well.
Are we singing Mona Lisa? Oh. Thinking over if I'm wrong, I am right. No need to look over. This ain't love. I know this is love. But if I tell the world, it'll never say enough, 'cause it was not said to you, and that's exactly what I need to do if I end up with you. Should I give up, or should I just keep chasing pavements, even if it leads nowhere? Or I don't know. One more time, always. Even if I knew my place, should I leave it there? Should I give up, or should I just keep chasing back? Even if it leads nowhere, yeah.
In watching this last singer sing, there's some really huge key points that to me just kind of popped right out from what I was watching that made it amazing and made it work and made it awesome. Number one is we aren't seeing extraneous tension. There's all these people like sitting around and watching, and this kid, usually that's a really threatening thing to sing, but he looks relatively relaxed and comfortable. Is a little bit stressed, a little weird for them probably, but they're holding themselves really relaxed. We're not seeing any grab or tension. So that's number one. Getting rid of those signs of stress and duress will make for an amazing performance and allow your audience to engage. Number two, consistency of breath flow through the entire sound. Each phrase, if we can keep that breath flow consistent, keep that legato line so we aren't hearing puffs of air, we're not hearing a push and pull of air, it's just consistent note to note and in between the notes. That will also make it sound more professional. Third thing is the consistency of the placement. They kept the placement consistently here and buzzing forward in those sinuses all the way through. They were a little bit collapsed here on the bottom. So as they went up to be able to keep things resonant and easy, they had to add a little bit more resonant space, shape a little bit more of that yawning smile feeling in the back. And then all of a sudden it popped right out on top as well. But again, it stayed consistent in its placement forward so that even though that they changed shaping a little bit there and back, it still sounded really consistent. Next thing is stylistically appropriate. They put these slides in there and they let it be expressive. They didn't try to control it. They let it be human. They made it so it was consistent in the ways that we talked about, but that it had a lot of variety in dynamic, color, expression, consonants, vowels, and how they were coloring each pitch and going through that phrase with a constant roller coaster and how they're expressing themselves. That balance there is what makes all the difference. And as we listen to all these singers, young singers, they were really successful at doing these items, and I think they showcased them really well. I agree with the person here, really amazing singers, and I love and believe that if we were to give our young people just a little more slack, a little more permission, a little more encouragement, more safe places where they can experiment and play with their voices rather than us trying to micromanage and shut down and control it, that we would see our young people are much more capable of creating amazing, glorious sounds than we ever thought would be imaginable. We would expect from these super old artists that have been around a long time. Children have tremendous capacity to sing beautifully and to sing expressively and to really move us in a deep, profound way. How does that mean if you're an older person trying to learn to sing and express the same thing? The cool thing is it means it's in you already. You already know it. You just have to go back and remind yourself what it is to be there. To be that child who is not paying attention to the people around them, who isn't worried, who doesn't have all this baggage of what people told them their voice is like and what they should sound like. They're just chucking that all out the window and singing from their heart, trying to apply the things that they know are going to help it be easier without obsessing over it, and just making great noise. If you want a voice lesson or performance coaching or want me to work with you or your group to help you sing easier, perform at a consistently higher level, book a time with me at mrperformingartstudio.com. You can also find me on scaleabout.com, where you can send me short clips that aren't lessons to test me out, see what I have to say, get my feedback, or ask me specific questions so that you can get the knowledge that you're wanting to know. Pick my brain, try to stump me. I'd love to have you reach out to me on scaleabout.com as well. I also work with audiobook readers and business people who have to talk in loud environments all the time to help them be able to use their voice in a way that is sustainable and easy and comfortable from the speaking side of things as well. Don't forget, check me out at mrperformingartstudio.com, scaleabout.com. Comment down below, click subscribe and like. I look forward to working with you online.